The exploiting potential of jiva is very small, actually. I remember once we were in Bucharest and in Romania, and we needed to park our car somewhere. It was like this little area where you could park, say, 20 cars. But this man came out, and he was the god of that parking lot. We understood very quickly that he was the god of that parking lot. Unless you did some puja and offered him some pranami, the god of the parking lot would not let you park there. And there may have been so many gods in the world since and before, but he was the god of that parking lot at that time, and he wanted us to understand that clearly. Right? So we became his devotees. So, jivas exploiting potential. Ozymandias told the poem of Shelley, where he says, he meets this traveler from an ancient land and tells him of something very peculiar and bewildering he saw. What is that? Out in the desert, there's a giant statue. They say it may have been Ramses I, II, or III, one of the Egyptian kings. There's this statue, but it's broken. The head's lying in the sand, the arms are over here, just from like the waist down is there with an inscription on the bottom. It says, I am the mighty Ozymandias, king of kings. And he said, if you look at the face in the sand where the head was, this arrogant sneer on the face, he says, whoever the artist was, he really captured the persona of this arrogant king trying to extend the circumference of his exploiting capacity. Right? And the Achit Jagat. I am the mighty Ozymandias, look upon my kingdom. And he said, but when you look, all you see in all directions are just sand and sand dunes and nothing. His kingdom was reduced to grains of sand. When we were in Rome recently with Krishna Kanta Didi and Munendra Mohan Prabhu and the others, you'll see in Rome, as you drive around this, there are places where, even when they made the metro, the subway, if they, like while they're digging, if they discover some ancient ruin, they go around it or they preserve it. So you can see in certain parts of the city, this ancient city, like, what would it be, like 20 meters below street level. So in other words, like the sanskar, the palams, layer after layer after layer is building. But sometimes you find deep, deep beneath these layers, the ruins of the ancient city. So whether it's the Roman Empire, Greek civilization, ancient Vedic culture, they all dissolve in the sound. When Sanatana Goswami was in jail, he got a letter from Rupa Goswami. And in that, Srila Gurudev, they like to quote this sloka from time to time. It's in the purport of that section of Chaitanya Charitamritam. And he says, and I'm paraphrasing here, he says, what happened to the Raghu dynasty and Ayodhya? What about the Yadu Bangsha? If even they came and went in this world, what to speak of everything else? Alluding to the extremely temporal nature of things. Labdva sudurlabham bahusambhavante. Human life, it's temporary like other ones, but there's a window of opportunity within human life and awareness to become liberated from misconception. That's what it means, to become liberated from misconception. What is misconceived self, misconceived identity? I'm not an exploiting unit. I am an aspiring, dedicating unit. So Guru said, what do we want to be? A beginner in the permanent world. Being very experienced and very adept and very, have extensive holdings in the temporary world is of no value. But he said, become a beginner in the permanent world. Take the beginning position in the permanent world. Sometimes you say, make a cottage in that plane. Just start with something very small in the permanent world. And that's the beginning of self-discovery, realizing who I am, what is my potential.